Hello and welcome to the Highball Climbing Centre in Norwich. Top climbers from all around the country have come over to East Anglia, one of the most popular climbing competitions of the year, and the first ever live climbing competition to be screened on terrestrial TV in the UK. With climbing being on the up and up, if you pardon the pun, the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan will see the sport make its debut under the 5 Olympic rings. Having covered events from all around the world for many years on the International World Tour, it's a real great pleasure personally to bring you this coverage within the UK for the first time on national terrestrial TV here on Free Sports. And we're live for the next 2 hours of really intense climbing competitions. We have world champions, we have British champions, we've got some real talent on the show today. Let's take a look at the finalists. All the climbers will have to complete 4 problems, and you just saw a little picture of them there just then. They have 4 attempts. They've got 1 attempt a time, so it'll be 1 male and 1 female climber climbing problem 1. It won't be what you may have seen on some webcasts or TV shows where everybody's climbing together. This is the final, and there's a big crowd here. The standing room only all around us as they've come to see the climbers there. You can just see them in the background looking at some of the later problems 3 and 4. When they've attempted problem 1, they will all move on to problem 2 and complete problem 2 in order, and then of course 3 and 4. Each of the 6 finalists will be competing on the 4 different problems throughout this wall. The order of the names you saw on the screen. In fact, if we can have another quick look at those names, we'll just go through them very quickly. We've got some real talent on show here, and some well-known names. We've got, well, of course, Hannah Slaney. She won the World Junior just recently. She's the first ever British athlete to win a World Championship in climbing, and she's going to be a real name for the future. And what a time to become the first, just as the Olympic Games are starting next year. We're going to see a lot more of Hannah in years to come. And of course, we already have a wealth of great talent. Some of the top British climbers who already got eyes towards Japan. This wouldn't be on there. They'll be competing on the international circuit, but these are the best of the rest. And as I said, Hannah Slaney, already a World Junior champion. Also a big name, Dave Barons is here. It's always great to see Dave competing. He's been around the tour as long as some of the walls. He's here forever, and he's a great competitor. And we're going to see, well, Dave, Max Milne as well, another man who in the semi-finals, they completed all 4 problems with no issues whatsoever. So Dave and Max both have not failed a problem so far today. The same can be said for Tara and Hannah as well. The 2 at the bottom, they are the ones who will be going last of all, and they also had very similar runs in there at the beginning, in that they completed 4 tops and 4 zones. We'll be explaining what zones are a little bit later. They're like bonus points. In fact, they used to be called bonuses. But it's a good competition, and with me, joining me for this competition, Elliot Shield, who's a pretty decent climber yourself, Elliot, and you're here with, you're involved with some of the sponsors here as well, with X-Cult and Tenaya. But Elliot, it was a great atmosphere earlier today for the semi-finals, wasn't it?
Yeah, thanks again for having me. Yeah, it was an incredible atmosphere. Like you could definitely tell when, like, the people who have qualified into finals, when they started coming out, like, that's when you really saw the tops happening. The crowd was really getting behind them, and yeah, you could just tell that the energy in the centre was amazing.
Yeah. So just this is going to be new for some people, as we can see our cameraman's right in amongst them. They're allowed 2 minutes to size up each problem, aren't they, and to have a look as to, you know, how they're going to attack this problem, and they're analysing this. And one of the things that's really strange is a lot of the athletes actually talk amongst themselves about it as well and give each other tips.
Yeah, so it's like, so in the 2-minute observation, they'll be sizing up if that problem sort of suits their styles, if it's basic, or if it's like a new school comp style problem. And again, like as you say, it's a competition, but they're all friendly, and they're all taking it among themselves to maybe share a little bit of beta, and chat through what they think of it. And again, in isolation, they might say, "Oh yeah, that was how I expected it," or they might just stay quiet and treat it as like a proper competition. But they're all super friendly. They all know each other. They all go around the circuit, and they might share ideas.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things that I always found was just amazing, that even at the very top at World Championship level, they would look at a problem and they'd all be just sort of going through with each other how they felt it should be done. And it was, of course, it's okay in theory knowing how it should be done. It's actually doing it then, of course, on the wall.
Yeah, completely. But again, like when you talk amongst yourselves, like you might think that the problem is done in a certain way, and then the person next to you might think, well, no, actually I wouldn't have done it that way, and they might choose to share that information, or it might be that they'll hear someone else say, or you might go at that with your left hand, and they might not have thought about it. So sometimes speaking can give you the better ideas rather than struggling amongst yourselves.
Well, that's it. They've had their 2 minutes, so they actually started looking at these problems a little bit before we came on air, and so we've just caught the last couple of minutes, which I think it was really good as an introduction. These guys aren't coming blind to these problems. They've had a good look, which of course doesn't happen in the semi-finals, does it? It's in the semi-finals so go straight to them.
So qualifiers and semi-finals are completely on site, especially the semi-finals. You have to it's as soon as you come out. That's the first time you've seen the problems. Like the semi-finals are behind the tarps. You don't see them. Same with the finals. You don't see them until the observation time in the finals.
Well, those are the lists. So first of all, we're going to have Ty Tewkesbury and Sophie Redding, who will be coming out in the women's final. The crowd here is quite up for this, it's got to be said. They've been waiting a little while. The semi-finals finished at 1:30. So I think it's fair to say they had to, of course, change the wall. They put a big red sheet in front of it so nobody could get a good view as to what was being built on the wall. And now the athletes have gone into what's called isolation behind the scenes. And Elliot, just explain to us, what is isolation all about?
So isolation is just like an area where the athletes that don't have their phones, they don't communicate with anyone who can see the problems. So as the competitors come out one by one, they don't know how it's been done. They can generally judge by the sound of the crowd if that competitor has done the climb. But again, it's like an area where they can warm up, they can just chill out, relax, maybe listen to a bit of music and just get in the zone. But it's so they can't see how the other competitors are doing the problems.
Yeah, just explain, it is very dark here. And so it might look very dark on your camera there. It is exceptionally dark here. They don't like bright lights. We've had to turn the brightness up on the camera quite a bit. So there's 30 seconds to go, I'm told, before the first athlete is coming on. So this is the nervous part for the climbers. You know, this must always, you've got a big crowd in. There's a good few hundred here, if more, and now they're going to be called out, and it's also a nervy part for the route setters as well. So we spoke to the route setters earlier, and of course they've got to set a problem that everybody can handle. So here we go. So the first two athletes are out, Ty Tewkesbury and Sophie Redding. Sophie Redding, it is, yes. So here we go. Okay, well, let's have a little listen. We spoke to the route setters earlier, and let's have a little listen as we watch Ty Tewkesbury. Let's have a listen to what the route setter said about these first problems. Bob Napier, the head route setter here, one of the head route setters. Good to meet you, Rob. Female problem one, tell us all about it.
So what we're looking at here is trying to ease the girls into it quite steadily, so it's not physically too demanding, this problem, but it's moving between kind of slopey volumes, fiberglass volumes, strange body positions, a bit of flexibility required, and then a bit of a commitment move at the end. Hopefully they won't have too many problems with it. Probably a little bit tricky second or third move at the start, I'd have thought.
Yeah, is this one of those nice warm-up ones? But it is a final, they've only got 4 problems, so you want to give them a bit of a test, and that's quite a jump at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a little bit, the foot's quite bad, and obviously you can't see exactly what the hold's like up there. The girls know the holds quite well though, so we're hoping that they'll kind of make short work of that. It might be that they have a little bit more difficulty down at the start, we'll see.
Okay, Rob, tell us all about male problem one.
Okay, so similar kind of style to female problem one in that slopey volumes and moving between different body positions, a a bit of flexibility required at the start, with another body position to find at the end, but hopefully the guys won't have too much problem with this. A little bit of a hovery kind of semi-dynamic move, the second move maybe, but we'll see. They're quite strong, so.
Thank you very much, Rob. Well, always interesting to talk to the route setter, and interesting to see that both of these athletes having some serious problems early on here and not really getting even into the zone as yet. And Ty's got a good reach there, but he's just not getting the balance, is he? Once he gets that hold, he's losing his feet.
Yeah, so on men's one, it's like pretty, like Rob said, pretty slopey holds, move into different body positions, and the key is like, can you read these body positions before you start, and with it being in sort of in the groove and almost on a bit of a slab climb, it's going to be, you're not going to be able to like just pull your way up this. It's a lot of movement based climbing, and yeah, these holds are pretty bad on the black men's one.
Well, Ty's, we get the 50 seconds. So this is what's called a 4+ clock, which means that if they're actually on the problem, and Ty's managed to move across. So Ty's made the first move, and you can hear the crowd already getting behind him. But it means that if they are actually on the problem, when clock gets 0, they can carry on.
But as you saw there, he hit the zone. He hit the zone hold in control, so he will get that. Which again, when if it comes to a tight final, the zone holds can make the difference between moving up in the rankings and being down in the rankings. So that's super important.
Well, Ty's pushing hard here. The clock has gone. His time is up. Is he going to reach it?
Yeah, he's got it there. That's well done. Nice. Good work, Ty.
So Ty Tewkesbury gets to the top. And what a start that is. And that's problem 1. And so Sophie didn't manage hers. But Ty did. It took him a few attempts. So Jake Collins is up next, and Francis Bensley. They're about to come out. We're just waiting for the clock. So they've actually letting the clock run down here instead of changing it. Well, no, they have come out. So. They started the clock a little bit early there, but the athletes came out. So Jake Collins and, well, isn't that typical for climbing? Ty looked for all the world as if he wasn't going to get that first problem, and he didn't get close. And then suddenly, once he managed to get this left-hand side sorted out, he was up like a shot first time.
Yeah, like it sometimes climbing does come down to finding those movement positions and those really subtle body changes, and then it can all of a sudden just click. And that's what we saw with Ty. Like he got the body position, figured out what he wanted to do with the feet, which hand he wanted to lead with, and yeah, it was good to see a nice top on that, and that'll put him into a good position.
Yeah,
good mindset, and just in a nice good top there from Francis. Yeah, good top.
Francis Bensley does it, and I think that was a flash.
I think it was, yeah.
I think that was her first attempt there. So well done, Francis. And now it's Jake Collins.
As we can see with Jake here, he's starting like in the total different opposite way that Ty was. With the he's starting with the feet, where the start tags are rather than the hands.
Well, Ty had 7 attempts on his problem, and it took him 6 attempts to get to the zone. So just goes to show that once he actually got past the zone, he only had 1 more fall, and then he was up. And Jake's having similar problems here.
So Jake's still sticking with his choice of starting with the feet on the start hold, which again is quite unusual because the start, where it's got the start tag, that was where all the chalk was originally, whereas now both have got chalk on, so that's going to cause like a little bit confusion for starting finalists that are coming up soon.
Jake Collins, 17 years old. He's a professional lifeguard. And from Brighton, he lives in Worthing. Actually plays rugby. He looks like a big lad.
Yeah, it's pretty stacked, isn't he?
Yeah. It's one of the things with climbing is that a lot of people sort of always think that climbing is it's a little bit like basketball or whatever. It's always the tall, thin ones, but it's not always the case. And you can be a bigger body type. You can be have more muscles, and we see lots of top climbers who reach the very top, who wouldn't be what you might say is your typical climbing.
Totally, yeah. Like
physique.
I think on the live stream we just missed the lineup of all the finalists, but you look at all the sizes, especially in the men's. Like you've got Jake here, who's like a pretty tall guy, but then you look at Max, who qualified in second. He's pretty short, and then you got Dave Barons, who's sort of like medium sized but pretty well built. Like it just shows that any sort of body type can do pretty well in climbing, which is always good to see, really.
Well, this is Jake's last go here because that clock is going to run down, and he knows it. This is his big attempt. A crowd are trying to get behind him. That clock has gone to 0, but he's off.
That heel just popped off there, which must be pretty heartbreaking for him with this being the first problem.
Yeah. Well, we've had one top from each side. And here we go with the next athletes, and this is Alex Waterhouse and Catherine McDougall. Just looking at Alex Waterhouse. He's actually a chalk bag maker. There you go. Somebody has to make them.
Yeah, I suppose.
Keep him within climbing, I suppose. And
I didn't realise he made chalk bags. I've not heard of him.
Yeah, he said he's written in brackets here for me to read out. I've got a big bag of chalk bags in the van. Please plug. We'll sell. So he's always on sales, even though he's in the final of the flash climbing competition here. 22 years old, from Plymouth, and he actually went over to the States. I was reading about him. He went over to Dartmouth and did a fair bit of climbing there. Got to the finals of the USA Nationals, which is no mean feat over there. It's a very high level of climbing over in the US. Catherine just came off there.
Yeah, Catherine made good progress there, getting to the zone hold. Alex sort of struggling there in the groove, sort of making his way over left. He was struggling there.
Alex says best thing he loves about climbing is pushing myself and solving problems, and that's what bouldering is all about, isn't it? Solving the way to get to the top.
Completely,
here.
yeah.
And
like the route setters will have had a method in their mind, and it'll be a way that they hope that the climbers can't solve it, and they'll have like one way in their minds, and when they're testing the problems before the athletes, they'll try and think of all the other possible options to climb it.
Yeah.
To avoid multiple ways. They sort of like one way for the athlete to do it, and that's the best.
Yeah. Well, Ty is back in isolation, so he's not watching this. He's gone back into isolation, but of course he's listening in the background, and he's not heard a big cheer yet. And that's one of the things that the athletes are always sort of, even though you are in isolation, you can hear if there's a cheer for a top. And so far, they know there's been no cheer here on these two, and they're both still climbing.
Yeah, if you hear a cheer pretty quick after they go out, you know you're in trouble because they've flashed it.
Yes, I think both are having trouble here. It was interesting actually watching Ty going out first. He had a lot of attempts, 7 attempts to get to the top camera, to the top hold, but here you see Alex is just it's that transition. That seems to be the really tough one to get through those 2 slabs over to the top left side, and it's getting the balance which they can't go.
Yeah, it's all down to the subtleties.
It is. We're halfway through this first problem with these three. There's 6 climbers going to be going. Catherine's back on.
She can't seem to match the high point that she got to on what I think was her first attempt.
Yeah.
But let's not forget these climbers have been climbing all day in semi-finals and a pretty tough qualifying round yesterday.
Yeah.
There were some great blocks yesterday, so they're going to be pretty tired by now. The skin on the fingertips is going to be sore. They're going to be battered by the end of this.
Yeah, 30 seconds to go. Well, if you remember back to what Rob Napier had to say, he did say that these were sort of gentle starts, so there's tougher to come.
It's going to be pretty exciting. We were behind the net, or behind the curtain, sorry, when they were testing and putting them up earlier, and yeah, there's some pretty nasty ones in the works.
Yeah, there's some quite horrific ones to come. The clock has gone to 0, and Alex screams in frustration because he is not going to get a top.
Bit of a screamer is old Alex.
Yes.
Go on, Catherine.
Nice applause in the arena here for the man from Brighton.
Oh, that right
Catherine's
hand
down.
just pops off there.
Yes, that was nasty for Catherine from Sheffield. She heads back. She's part of the climbing works, who they have a pretty good climbing setup going on there, don't they, at the works?
Not too bad.
Yes. So next, Matt Barilla Christie and Eugenie Lee.
So again, you can just see Matt there sort of trying to decide between starting with his hands on the left or the right after, I think it was Jake chalked up that left-hand side originally, whereas Ty had it all pretty clean and he was starting over on the right with the hands. And I think that's what Matt's going to try now.
Yes, Matt is from London. He's based at Mile End. And his highest position, 6th at the British Bouldering Championships.
Eugenie Lee making good progress to the zone over there.
Yes. That same area is causing a lot of trouble. We've got 2 real top climbers to come. We've got Max Milne, who's the British champion, and we've got a former British champion in Dave Barons. And they have not managed to, they've topped every single problem they've had in this competition so far, so it'll be very interesting to see what they make of this problem. So at the moment, it's causing a few headaches here.
And what's pretty interesting is Matt, he's a regular setter around in the London walls, so you'd goes to show how hard it is to break and to think how to do these problems. If you think this is what he does, and he's just making some progress there. Eugenie just taking a bit of time there to suss out what she's going to do on this next attempt.
Yes, and I think Matt is in this situation. He knows what he's supposed to do, but it is the execution of it. We've only seen one man do it so far. Oh, so close.
Quite quick through there.
Yeah. Eugenie on the right.
Making really good progress.
Yeah, she's done that well. So she's going to get a hold of the zone comfortably here.
Nice, that's nice and controlled.
Now tell me, it's 2 hands in the zone, isn't it?
No, it's just
the one.
But the key is it has to be in control. So you can't jump and brush it. It's got to be held.
Like she's
in
holding
control,
there.
yeah.
So she gets the zone there for sure. But
she looked a little bit high there because she got that big foothold out right, which was pretty high above it, to be honest.
Yeah.
There we go. Matt seems to have got it unlocked now. Just taking a bit of time to chalk up there.
There's a little bit of traffic as cameramen and photographers all walk around on the mat.
This could be it.
This is it.
There we go.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Matt Barilla Christie never looked as if he was going to get that. And then all of a sudden, he got over that hurdle, and this is where Eugenie Lee is having real trouble. 15 seconds to go.
There we go. Oh, just off there.
One last look at the clock. Is she going to manage it?
She's going to jump on quick.
Yeah, she's got to get on. Yeah, she'll be on just in time. There you go. Clock has gone.
It's good that they've decided to go for the 4 minute plus rule for Highball, because when I've watched competitions, some of the most exciting scenes have come from the 4 minute plus, where the athlete's just gone for that last attempt, given it the roll and got a good top in. So it's pretty exciting they've decided to do this.
And she's off the wall there. And Eugenie Lee, well, she tried her best, but that's proving to be a really difficult problem. So Max Milne coming up next. And with him is Tyler Hayes. So both these have not failed a problem in this competition, so this would be interesting here. Well, we have moved, there's no doubt we've moved up a level. Max Milne is the current British champion from Aberdeen. Tara Hayes also has a great background to her, and she's competing at world level as well nowadays.
Yeah, Tara's got a pretty good climbing CV, and so has Max.
So Max is off early here. It's a great shot there. See the tension as muscles having to work hard as she gets up there.
There we go. I think we're going to see a top here from Tara.
Been climbing since she was 8 years old. She was second place in the World Youth Championships in 2016. So nearly got that world title,
nice.
And she's reached it.
Oh,
no!
Just drops the match.
Oh my goodness. And that does not count. She was not in control. Oh.
As Rob said, that top hold it's got a pretty good indentation to it, but that big foothold down there is pretty bad, pretty slopey.
Yeah. Well, Max has had an attempt. Oh, look at the disappointment on her face. She can't believe it.
She thought she had it there.
I think it's fair to say that's as close as you could possibly get without getting the hold.
And is this going to be a top for Max? Isn't it a completely different method? There we go.
It came off first time. A second time, no problem at all. Max Milne makes it to the top in 2 attempts.
In the back of his mind, though, he's going to be thinking that Dave Barons, who's going to be out next, Dave Barons pretty much flashed. I think he flashed every climb of the semi-finals, so he knows that he's up against some pretty stiff competition tonight. There we go. Hopefully this time for Tara, taking a little bit of time to chalk up and compose again.
Well, she knows the route.
There we go.
Oh, again. She held. And now, well, this is where the mental side comes in, isn't it? Because she's a little bit screwed up in her head now. Look at the face. She is, you know, in her mind, she thinks she may have actually, you know, could be losing this event based on that. And she's already got a bit of a defeated sort of gait to herself.
I think that can sometimes be the hardest way. You know, you've hit the top hold, you've pretty much done it, and then it's just snatched away from you. Sometimes that can be harder than not doing it at all.
She's just letting the muscles rest a little bit on the arms. She knows what to do.
She just doesn't want to pull on again.
Yeah. And this isn't a timed event. You know, there's no penalty for taking every second of those 4 minutes, or even going beyond the 4. So she's just making sure she's going to rest the arm. She's almost a little bit in tears there, I think. She's definitely disappointed with herself, because she knows she should have done this much earlier, and she should be sitting back in that room now, thinking about problem 2.
It's pretty good to see her back on form, though, because she had a bit of time off with I think it was a knee injury and it took her a while to come back to it, but she's really been climbing well recently, and it just shows.
Yeah.
There we go. This time, Tara.
Yeah, come on. Come on. It's a lot of work needed there. The strength in the upper body to move across there. And this is where she's failed now. The left side of her body has always just moved away from the wall as she's made this move. She has to hook it and hold it. Clock is well and truly gone. If she comes off here, this will be a big cross against her name. She can't hold again. The left arm comes away, and that's the story of her first problem.
She'll be pretty annoyed with that.
Final two athletes for problem one. See, the crowd is everywhere here. They've really come for a good night. And Dave Barons doesn't really need much of an introduction. Very familiar face on the UK
this isn't
climbing
his first
scene.
rodeo. He's been around the block. He knows the comp scene pretty well.
Yeah, he was competing. Looking through some of his history, he was at the IFSC level back in 2009. Got on the podium of a World Championships. He's definitely so much experience to his name. He's trying this a slightly different way, and that didn't work, did it? We just gave him a great big build-up.
Yeah, we've shot him down there a little bit. But Hannah's making a good start.
Yeah, that is known as the commentator's curse, by the way. So you give him a big build-up, and he's off within a second. He's gonna have another go at this way. So
you can see on the left there is hooking the toe on there rather than pressing against it, and he's slightly changed that now, trying to bring that right on and get stood up into the groove. And Hannah's made it past the zone.
Hannah's doing really well here.
Going to be a top from her. Trying to flip that left hand, which just seems to work. Can she get the match?
Oh, she holds
there
on.
We go. Nice.
And that was the difference there.
Little smile to the crowd there.
Not even giving Hannah her introduction.
Well,
Hannah is the first ever British world champion. There you go, Hannah. And she just climbed, and that was the
Dave's
form.
up there as well.
And Dave Barons doesn't mess around either. Once he got his start, that took 2 attempts though.
Same as Max, I think.
Yes.
Max and Dave will be battling it out for first on the podium, and those two doing it second go is going to be quite a good split.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here. That's problem number 1 completed. And we'll be back with problem 2 after this break.
so just a reminder there on 18.
Well, welcome back, and well, they're not hanging around here much. They are cracking on, and we've got Ty Tewksbury and Sophie Redding already started. But they're not holding back here, and Johnny's with me. Sorry, Johnny, I forgot your surname. Sorry, say again.
Johnny Golder.
Golder. And Johnny, you're a big climber here. You watched them on their first problem. It was a bit harder than I think we thought it was going to be, wasn't it?
Yeah. Definitely looked much trickier. However, you had Max and Dave managed to get on the second attempt and just made it look easy, really.
Yeah. Well, we're just while they're just having their attempts. We did speak earlier to the route setters here, and well, you heard what he had to think about problem 1. This is what he thought about problem 2. Okay, here with Rob, one of the route setters here at the Big Flash, and this looks an interesting one on female 2. I'm just perplexed by these 3 in a row. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it looks very nice, doesn't it? So wearing the girls down a little bit with a bit of a traverse out around the corner on some slopey volumes, and then a bit of grovelling, as we like to say, in a corner. And then the girls are going to step out onto the slab, and it's a kind of a friction commitment move, finding the right method for your feet up there to achieve the finishing hold at the top.
Okay, Rob, here we are on male problem 2. Tell us all about it.
So we tried to increase the difficulty a little bit here with a tricky kind of friction start for the guys, a bit tricky on the feet. You notice there's a bit of demarcation tape, so we don't want them going near that arete, so that is out of bounds. Hopefully then they're going to traverse under the roof, a bit of compression pushing up under the roof, and then a pretty difficult dynamic move to achieve the volume kind of configuration up there, and then the top's actually not too bad. We don't think they'll have a problem with the top.
I've got to say, that looks like quite a hard problem to me. Compared to number 1, you've really stepped it up a level here.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly more risky in that the start's got kind of a friction dependent move, and it's a body feeling move at the start, so they'll have to find those positions. If they find the position right, we never know with these things. Sometimes they do them very easily, sometimes they're a lost cause and we see a disaster, but we'll see.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Well, that was great to hear what he said, and I think we just saw Ty there on that really difficult area. If a route setter's that's pretty difficult, then you know it's going to be tough, don't you?
Yeah, exactly that. Just fingertips to the finish, and just, sadly didn't get the top.
Just coming up to a minute to go here. And Sophie, she failed on the first. Didn't get the zone either. Well, Ty on his first, it took him 7 attempts to get there. He got there right at the end. He's into 4th place already with Barons, Milne and Varela Christie all just above him. It's great to see such a great crowd here, isn't there?
Yes, it is a fantastic turnout, and it's great to see lots of local people as well.
Yeah. Sophie's decided enough is enough. So even with 24 seconds left, she's realised that this problem is going to be too much for her, and she's going to save it for a little bit later, I think.
I should have thought skin would be quite a big issue at the minute as well, considering lots of new holds.
Yeah. Well, Ty has also said enough is enough. The clock has just gone. And so we're just waiting for the 4-minute clock. So here we go. The next 2 up, James Collin and Francis Besley. So Collins and Besley. Well, Besley, she is equal first, as you can see on there. She, in fact, she is first. She's totally first with Hannah Slaney. So Hannah Slaney actually on countback is ahead. But Bensley, she flashed her first problem. She qualified in 5th place. The girls' competition is really good, isn't it? There's some real good climbers in this girls' competition.
Yeah, a lot of strong faces have turned out actually, which is always great to see.
Yeah.
Now wrestling her way up the sort of bridging of volumes.
Oh my goodness, she's nearly there.
Got an E-bar in, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got to the zone. We've not seen her fall off yet in this. Oh, I do apologise for saying that. But here we go. So this is, you heard Rob mention this in the interview. We've got to do a little shuffle along here, a little dance move.
Yeah. Being super delicate with the feet.
Yeah.
Making sure it places everyone correctly.
She's doing well. Oh, she's missing out the last one and she's going for the stretch across. Now this is awkward because she's got nothing to hold on to here, has she?
No, it's totally all balanced, trying to keep the hips as close in as possible and trying to get the feet as far out on the volumes as well to bring them hips closer to the wall.
She's done well there because she's corrected herself. She didn't like the way it was lining up. Now this is the, oh, so close.
Seems as if Jake's walked into a little bit of trouble with the start.
Yeah, Jake's just fallen off as well. Just off your camera there. But this is the men's problem turning out probably, as the route setter said, this is quite a difficult one. It'll be interesting to see how some of the later guys get on here. We've seen the two top guys, Max Mill and Dave Barons, both get to the top in 2 attempts. And of course, this is one of the things with climbing, is that the number of attempts actually could be the decider as to who wins and who doesn't win.
Yeah, exactly that. And halfway up the boulder is the zone, which as well comes a big play into the final score results.
Yeah.
So every attempt counts.
Absolutely. And well, we saw earlier with Tara Hayes and her, how she nearly made it and then didn't. And you know, in the back of her mind, she was thinking, I've lost, you know, you could almost see that she was thinking to herself, I've lost this now because I should have got that. And then she didn't actually get the top in the end, but Bensley, she did that beautifully there, didn't she?
Yeah.
Used both hands.
Making great progress. She's now trying to swap the feet on a little nub, which is on the volume.
This is a ridiculous balance, isn't it?
Ooh.
She's going right foot, no?
Yes.
Oh, just lost her footing. So close.
Yeah, you can see how small that little chip is. I believe it's been put on upside down as well, so to make it even harder.
It's obscene, that hold. It's
Super
nothing.
precise, yeah.
It's a pebble. Well, she knows the final problem to sort. Meanwhile, as the clock is down to 20 seconds.
Jake is making progress, getting really stuck in on the roof. 10 seconds left. Not sure it's going to jump back on. He's trying to jump back on.
Oh,
And he's
clock
on.
has just gone. And yes, he rushed too much. He wasn't set for it at all, was he?
No, just rushed the start, but I'm sure he'll bounce straight back on problem 3 and 4.
Yeah. Well, Frances now, she's got plenty of time, and this is one of those problems that is going to take time, but she's got it. So we could, you know, this is the situation. On the international rules, when the clock goes, you are off no matter what. But the international rules used to be this system where if you're on the wall, you get a final attempt, and I think most climbers actually prefer this rule. This creates a lot more drama, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes a great show with the 4 minutes plus.
Oh, she just couldn't hold on. Well, she gave it everything, didn't she, there?
Yeah, 100% all the way. It was always great to see.
So Waterhouse and McDougall up next. Both of them did not top in their first problems. So you see a little red X against their name, against problem 1. Just to explain, the little yellow figures are bonus figures, and the figures on the far right are how many tops and how many attempts in total. So you can see there it's obviously nils because they actually didn't complete, except for Catherine, who did get the zone. I call it the bonus because it's only just recently been changed to the zone, but she got a zone on her first attempt, so that could be useful later on down the line. Could well be the difference between 4th and 3rd place, something like that.
Alex getting really stuck in with the roof. It's always great to see. Opting for the higher foot rather than the volume. Oh, foot just went.
having a real good think about this. Interesting shorts he's got. It's straight from the beach.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure I've never not seen Alex compete, whether that be like on TV in the ABCs and stuff without them shorts. He goes everywhere with them shorts.
They look as if they need a good clean, to be honest, don't they? I think he needs to get a new wardrobe. maybe the prize money from this if he manages to get on the podium. Over to Catherine on the right hand side. Incredible flexibility there from McDougall. She's gets the heel hook in.
Yeah, making the most out of them heels.
Yeah. Oh, but can't reach there. So
it's a long way to go.
Catherine reached the semi-finals at Quiff last year in Sheffield. She enjoys lead climbing more than bouldering, but not too bad to have made the final here for Catherine.
Yeah.
She's only 16 years old as well.
Yeah, put an absolute performance in on the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Which is always great.
Under job, she says school. Fair enough.
Full-time education.
Yes.
I think Alex being one of the shorter climbers, making that move up to that volume, obviously a bit of a disadvantage to him. But probably next go, I reckon he'll get that. Catherine opting for a different method.
Yeah.
Trying to get a low knee bar in. 30 seconds to go.
Yes,
oh no.
She's just struggling to get. And we saw on the previous climb on the female problems that you know, she was making that bit look easy, but she struggled a bit further on up.
Yeah.
And yes, men's too. This is horrendous.
Yes.
Oh, he's held it.
He is at full span.
What a grip.
Nice. Go on,
now,
Alex.
can he make the final hold? Yes. Come on. Well done.
Wow.
Alex Waterhouse. Well done indeed.
That is
tops.
Yeah, that's going to put him in great stead on the leaderboard, considering the first block was not topped. Oh, and Catherine has just fell off.
And Catherine, well, her attempt at problem 2 is over. Don't hang around here. Next athletes are already coming out. And it's Eugene Lee, Matt Varela Christie, and as you see, Matt, he topped in 4 attempts. Eugenie didn't manage to, but she did get the zone in her first attempt as well. So Matt, he'll be aware that there's a few athletes have not managed to top as yet. So, you know, he's in this little unknown area, isn't he? That he thinks he could be on the verge of medals.
Yeah.
You know, I think you have to accept that Matt Milne and Dave Barons are probably going to have their own little private gold-silver battle. So, you know, Matt is thinking, can I get this bronze? You know, if I can get a few tops and some of the others don't.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to pick up as many tops as possible on the way. I think Matt is, by looking at it already, I think he's on his way to the podium already. It's early to say that, but I'm sure he's going to put in a great performance on this block number 2.
Eugenie's doing well here as well. She just lost the heel hook as she was reaching out. Matt under. This is a real tough hold, this one.
Yeah. Matt being very tall as well is going to make it a bit easier than Alex.
Here's the big reach. He's done it.
Now on for the finish and hold.
Oh my goodness, well done indeed. That is exceptional. He's got both hands on the top hold.
Making it look easy. He is out there. He is trying his best. That is great to see.
Yeah. Now the question is, did he actually fall off early? I can't. You know, you're so in the zone, aren't you? That I'm trying to think. Did he actually fall off, or was that a flash? Oh, I need the scorers next to me. Unfortunately, they're not close by, so we'll have to ask them a little bit later. But
I would like to say that was a flash, but I couldn't tell you either. Eugenie Lee is now getting the knee bar in, up into the zone.
Oh, now she's right. So here she goes, and this is the first time she's got to this level. So yeah, have a little rest, little breather.
Yeah.
Focus on her eyes. This is the big move. So we saw earlier when it was attempted, she's going to go backwards and have another think. Still plenty of time on the clock, 1.5 minutes. Oh, well done. So this is incredible. She had real trouble at the start. Now she's got to decide, is she going to go with her right or her left? It sort of naturally looks like it should be a left foot, but it's all about the foot here. This is the big hole. 1 minute beep has gone.
Making sure she's taking her time, so.
Oh, wonderful. How did she do that? Look
Wow.
at that, look at that little hole at the bottom. She's done it.
The accuracy for that was
first
absolutely astonishing.
The first athlete, the first female athlete to complete. So, this is starting to warm up a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely getting a lot closer now.
It's fantastic. So it's Max Milne and Tara Hayes who are going up.
Tara's already starting to make progress, sorry. Opted to get the knee bar in early. Ow.
But isn't that's so typical of climbing, isn't it? That you know, the last athlete, Eugenie, she had so much trouble in this lower area, and then once she actually got through it, she did that incredible move on the little pebble foothold there, and got to the top comfortably. Whereas the other, the previous athlete we saw, she was absolutely nailing through that every time, but just had trouble at the top time and time again.
Yeah, and now Max is all the way at penultimate hold.
Oh, Max just made that look so easy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgraceful.
Floating up the wall.
Oh, no way. No way. Max Milne. Take a bow, son. That was absolutely wonderful.
Crazy strength. Crazy strength.
Yeah, well, you don't become British champion for nothing. And he just showed every inch of his ability there.
Exactly that.
So now, Tara Hayes, silver medalist at World Junior Championships in 2016. A real talent for the future.
Opting to get the knee bar in low again. Didn't work for Tara last time, but ouch. No, it didn't work again. She can pull this out of the bag. Got 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she's just got to rethink things. And they're getting the toothbrushes out heavily on here. They're not toothbrushes anymore. They used to be toothbrushes, but now there's companies that make these things and make professional standard cleaning devices. It's great to see. How's Tara going to do here? She's another one of these athletes who's based out of Sheffield. She's at Sheffield University. She's shaking her head. The crowd are trying to get her going a little bit here. She's looking a little bit defeated, it's got to be said. She keeps shaking her head. She just doesn't know how to get around this corner. there does seem to be two incredibly hard bits to this. One is at the lower area, and then there's that little foot change which was needed to actually go with your left foot in the end.
Almost seems as if she's sort of powering out a little as well after the first block, I'm sure, after dropping that top so many times. It does seem as if she's looking at her skin now, is obviously running low. So
Yeah.
definitely going to be heartbreaking.
Well, I just wonder whether it goes back to problem one as well, that she's still got that in the back of her mind, and she, you know, it's just it's set her off on a bad footing. Here she is, and it's almost like she's trying to sort of cut out a move there. She's not keeping the heel hook. And yes, looking at the hands, I think a few of the athletes have said, one of the questions I'm questioning all the athletes have given is, what's the worst thing about climbing? And most of them have said is, well, the skin just doesn't grow back quickly enough. You have to give it a few weeks off while the skin repairs itself. I think every climber knows that.
Yeah, and using hand gels and stuff such as Climb Skin and Climb On also help the skin repair a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Here come the next two athletes. So here we go. We didn't really give Hannah much of an introduction last time, but she's the first ever Brit to win a world championship at junior level, and she is a real talent of the future, that's for sure. Hannah Story, she flashed the problem one, and I was about to give her I gave Dave Barons a bit of a heave-ho on his problem, and while I was doing that, Hannah was getting to the top of hers. So these are, in theory, the best two climbers from the semi-finals. These had the best records from the semi-finals. So this will be very interesting to see. And, well, look at this, Hannah struggling a little bit, but how she just held herself up there to say, well, look, that's not going to work. I'm going to try another way. It's ridiculous.
Many options in the bag.
Yeah. And this is where your real creme de la creme. Oh, Barons has just nailed that hold, and that's the moneymaker hold for him, because from here on in, it's been proven earlier, the rest is easy. Dave Barons, that is a flash, quite appropriately in the flash competition. And now let's concentrate on Hannah Slaney. Well, this is still her first attempt. By all rights, she possibly should have come off a bit earlier, but she just held herself on with pure arm strength.
Now getting to the rest, hopefully.
Now, yeah, here we go. This is that little step across. So this bit is all about the balance, and boot setters, you know, they love setting different problems. So she's missing out that last slab, and she's going to try and go directly for it, because she's got a good reach, but she's not happy. It goes back to have a little think about things. It's interesting.
Yeah, go for another chalk up.
Yeah.
Good choice.
That's it. She's just standing on the block now. Here we go. Now she's going to the end. And we'll step up. She's got a good grip on that. Oh, this is superb climbing. Absolutely superb. Now, she's going to try and... Okay, so this is the problem that we saw with other climbers. And she's going to have to do the little move here. What do they call it in climbing when they skip?
Just a
Just
really elegant foot swap, really.
Foot swap.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And she just did that easily. Oh, she's struggling.
She's shaking.
Struggling. The
Yes.
legs are going, but she's up.
Wow.
The legs were going, but she's managed it. And she shakes her head. I think she used every bit of energy she's got in that little body. And, well, that's problem two. We're going to take a great break. Johnny, it's been brilliant having you on board. It's gone so quickly.
It has. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the Big Flash here. On the screen we have our graphics for the men's competition. I think they're still doing a little bit of totting up on the women's, but we can see that at the moment Dave Barons and Max Milne, well, they're both tied up. And they're both, in fact, it looks like Dave Barons has gone down as 4 in the bonus. So there's a few little people just checking with route setters. There's so many people in here, it's very difficult to get results coming through. So we'll get that updated as soon as possible. So we're ready to go for the next round here. And with me, I'm very pleased to say, Mike Surtees, who's the head honcho here. This is your event, Mike.
I know. Bit scary, that.
Great. What an atmosphere. What a great night.
Yeah, it's amazing. This is our 7th year now. The first year was a little bit much smaller, and then we've just slowly grown it year on year. It's got bigger and bigger. The competitors that have come along from far and wide. Yeah, it's just been a great event.
It's been absolutely wonderful, and what a great night this is. So here we are on problem 3. As the athletes have their first attempts, let's have a little listen to what the route setter had to say. We spoke to him a little bit earlier, and this is what he had to say about problem 3.
Okay, here with Rob Napier, one of the chief route setters here. And Rob, female 3, there's a lot of them, a lot of little holes, but there's a lot of slopers that are difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, so kind of the physical difficulty now for the women's tours kind of stepped up a level, and they're going to have to grapple with these slopey volumes. We're a little bit kind of concerned because obviously it's more physical, their skin gets hot. It's got kind of a toe hook sequence to use these slopey volumes here, and then, you know, kind of careful kind of punchy moves to the top. We'll see. Hopefully they won't be too tight. It's probably the hardest problem of the tour for the girls, though, this one.
Okay, Rob, M3 looks like a really difficult puzzle. Tell us all about it.
So similar kind of start to M2 in that it's a kind of friction, flexibility dependent problem. It's got a kind of a not so obvious move out there to find a different body position, then to traverse back right. Then the traversing back right is pretty tricky. You've got kind of a semi-coordination move to get across right, and then the top's not so bad, but it's kind of a friction move again, so the guys are going to have to trust their feet and go for it on that last move.
Thank you. Well, very interesting to hear what Rob had to say there. When a route setter says we step up the level a little bit here and it gets a bit more demanding, you know that's going to be a real tough one.
Yeah, it's we get to they're behind a curtain most of Thursday and Friday doing the route setting, and whilst the centre's open climbing and we're doing all the prep, we can hear lots of shouting and like cheering and banter. It's good fun to listen to, and you always know when they're setting something hard.
Yeah. What's happening here, Mike?
I think, well, to be honest, all the volumes and holds are all brand new. So all the 30 qualifiers yesterday, plus another 4 blocks in the semis, and I'm hoping it's just a fingertip. Yeah.
This is Ty Tewksbury, who's on there, but I think we've seen a few athletes looking down at their hands, and you know, it's been a long old competition.
Yeah, and for some of the route setters as well, it's been a busy week. Jan was at the Euros in Rappo last weekend, and he arrived with particularly sore tips already. There was a lot of route setting in gloves for Thursday, Friday, definitely.
Well, there was a big blow of the cheeks there from Ty. He did very well on his first problem, getting there at the 7th attempt. Sophie has yet to get a top. She's had a tough day at the office, you could say.
Yeah, she has, but she's doing well. She seemed quite surprised that she made the final, so pleasantly surprised. But yeah, she's doing really well. But I think it's just taking its toll on athletes.
Yeah, well, she did 2 tops in semi-finals, and so it was a clear semi-final final in that the 7th place athlete, who was Ingrid Schroeder, had only done the 1 top in 7th place. Sophie has left. As time is running out, Ty, this is going to be his big attempt. He's doing well here. Come on, Ty.
Yeah, it'd be good if he makes it now. Time's at 0. Obviously, we're running 4+ for this event. It's worked really well for us, and apart from on that occasion,
No.
but it worked really well on block number 1 straight away with a top in 0 time.
Well, Ty did get a zone in there. So next up, Jake Collins and Francis Bensley.
Yeah, Francis came out and smash block 1. She was
She
looking
did.
really good, and then on block 2 again, I thought she was going to do it, but she just couldn't quite make that final top hold.
Well, she's currently in second place, Francis. So
Yeah, she's climbing well. I think this might be her 3rd year here now, and she seems really strong this year, actually. As I say that, she falls off. And Jake's really tall, actually, so a lot of the competitors that come here, I'm quite tall, so they always tend to be a little bit shorter than me, but I was standing next to Jake earlier, I was like, wow, you're a big guy.
tell you what, all these young lads are ridiculously tall. It's like being in the Netherlands, isn't it? They're all like 6'5" these days. So many young lads out there. I don't know what they've been feeding them, but it is great to see. And like, you would know this, Mike. You see, you look at what's happening at international level, and some of the best climbers are not exactly tall people. They are, this is one of the beautiful things about this sport, is that you don't have to be tall.
Yeah,
climbing's for all.
Yeah, and as a climbing wall owner, it's just a great activity for everybody to be involved with. I started climbing with my dad when I was 12, and he still visits us here and climbs at 72. So.
Brilliant.
But yeah, let's just watch Francis here, because she's just made good progress on
She has.
F3. She's now on the zone,
She's made the zone.
and I think she might do this. Come on, Francis.
Come on.
Yes.
That's a
Come
hard
on.
hold.
One more. That's it. Can she get her feet sorted? Come on.
One
Yes.
last push.
Oh!
No!
I can't believe that.
Oh, she stayed down. She can't believe it.
Well, the good thing is she's got 2 minutes, so she's hopefully locked in some of that sequence, and she can just have a little bit of a rest and then get back on and get that top
Yeah.
either before the time runs out, or hopefully she'll be on there at 0. The question is whether she'll risk another attempt now, or is she just going to have a really good rest and get back on with a few seconds spare.
Just see Rob in the background now, looking a little bit worried. Route setters are always worried.
This is such a hard comp for the route setters to do, because we have a lot. Obviously, we're in Norwich, so we're not known for our climbing history here, but we built quite a big comp, and we get a lot of the the top UK climbers here. And what tends to happen in the semi-final is we have either junior GB team, or we have some locals in there, and they've got to try and make at least one block achievable for them, but they've also got to try and split the finalists. Their work starts in terms of splitting the competitors in the qualifiers, but they had a few 300s, and they had to try and split them, and so I don't envy them. It's
Very tough.
Yeah,
Very, very tough job. Because of course you don't want to set it so easy that everybody tops everything, because you can't then decide who's the best climber. You also don't want everybody to fail everything, because the same thing happens. You can't actually rank anybody.
No. The idea is that everything gets climbed, but not by everyone. I mean, it sounds obvious, but if one person climbs each block, then they'll look at that as a success. Right, she's on.
A great hold.
It is.
Jake is also making his move. He's not had much luck today. All zeros against his name, but he's a young man. I was looking at his record. Jake Collins was winner of the Youth B here 2 years ago. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And here he is in the open final.
Yeah,
That's an
she's about to make
incredible
this.
move. And
Come on,
what a
Francis.
foot slip, but she's held it.
She's on hard. Go!
Oh,
Right,
save
she's got-
again.
She's got 8 seconds left here. She's going to get back on. No, that's it for her.
The body.
Yeah, Jake's been a few years. So we've found this. We had like Robin Casey. She was just a young teen when she first got on. I think she made her first semi-final here, and it's great to see some of these young climbers that make their first semi-final, and they slowly get better and better each year. And obviously Jake's here in the final this year. I think Robin would have had a good chance had she not got injured in the semi-final.
Yeah.
Right, so who's out now? Is that Catherine?
Well, next up, it's Alex Waterhouse and Catherine McDougall. Well,
Alex having a bit of a look.
Frances is currently in second place. Catherine, so far, no tops to her name, so she's down in fifth at the moment. Alex Waterhouse also in fifth. He's got one top on problem 2. So the little number is the little number in white is how many attempts it took. So 4 against that green tick was 4 attempts on that.
Yeah, I was really surprised he didn't get M1 actually.
Yeah. I was just saying in the previous problem, we've got a time to get some new shorts sorted out. They're a bit too old.
Yeah, I think the same ones he was wearing in the semis? Or has he got a fresh pair for
Apparently
every
he's
round?
been wearing the same ones for years, I'm told. It's sort of part of his style. Oh, that's a nice move there. And also Catherine as well. Oh, but she didn't really get that hold there. She was always struggling. Here's Alex.
So this part of the wall, the lower panels are slightly overhanging, slightly steeper, and then it changes to a slab. So he's just come up, and now he's coming around the lip of the wall, and hopefully he can just sort his feet out to get himself onto those volumes. Oh, he's done well there, just to quickly cool his tips down. Is this going to be like the third knee we've seen in this final now? Oh, come on, come on.
How is he going to do this?
Just got to work out this last piece.
Yeah. See, he just doesn't. He's just not sure what the way to do this is. He's not impressed with something there. Fingers are burning away a little bit. Whack them out on your
That's
tummy.
a tiny X-Cult crimp there. All right, can he make this?
Oh, the foot went. Oh.
I think he might put a bit of chalk on his shorts this time round, just to. Oh no, he's putting the chalk back on. So yeah. Yeah,
he's getting the chalk back on. So he realises he needed it up there, and there's a bit of running repair. We're seeing a lot of running repairs. You've destroyed these athletes. There's going to be some pain tonight as people are going to bed.
Well, yeah, we've invested a lot of money in new holds and new volumes for this year, and they've been throughout all the qualifiers, all the semis. So yeah, these guys have done a lot of blocks on brand new holds and volumes.
We're getting through to the business end now. We've got 3 more athletes to come on this problem, and then there is only 1 more problem to come. So at the moment it's Dave Barons and Max Milne who are top.
And they look like they're tied as well.
Equal first tied, yep. And Matt Vavila Christie, who's in, 3rd place. So those 3 are yet to come. On the men's side, on the female side, Hannah Slaney, 2 tops out of 2. She looks as if she might be stepping away here. And Alex is furious there.
Yeah. He's going to get back on. He's looked at the clock.
Yeah, he's got enough time. This is it now.
Francis, he's in there. The beep's gone. Francis Bensley must be sitting in isolation thinking, what did I do wrong there?
Yeah.
She's so close.
So close twice. And she's in 2nd place. So actually nailing that would have, you've got to say that would have secured her a medal of some sort. But what it's done is Hannah Slaney, who's now just going to move away, the World Junior Champion, is got a little bit of distance between her and the rest, with Eugenie Lee currently in 3rd place. Oh, he's having a little, there you go, a bit of something for the camera.
Yeah.
This is not easy.
No. Yeah, here we go.
He wants a bit from the crowd.
Yeah, hopefully. It's always great to see a bit of interaction from the competitors. There was one probably particularly a few years ago, Tommy Matthews just kept trying it, and when he got it, the place really erupted. So yeah, hopefully they get behind Alex here.
He nearly went there. Remember, he's already been past this point. He's been up much higher than this.
Yeah.
But this is where
Come on.
Really tough for him. The legs are tired.
Come on.
Muscles are aching.
Come on. Yes, that's it.
That was a great move.
Right. So just on that green crimp there, you could see a couple of red crosses. So that's what the route setters do. So Thursday they came in, they set the semi-final and the finals. They start with the finals, they mark them up, they take them all off the wall again. Then they set the semi-finals, they mark them up with pen. So you can see around the volume some red marks where they've already kind of pre-planned them. They took them down, and then Friday they set the 30 qualifiers, and then Saturday night they put the semi-finals back up. So it's a lot of work, and and then they tweak them as well. And sometimes they might think they've overcooked it.
He thought he had it. He thought he had that one, but it just, the foot slipped, and Alex Waterhouse holds his head in his hands. Well, Eugenie Lee is up next. She's in 3rd place after 2 problems, so she's got an eye on the silver medal here. And on the left-hand side, it's Matt Vavila Christie, who's currently 3rd place. He can secure a top here. He could really secure that 3rd place. So here we go. He's found something funny. I think the local MC's just had a bit of a laugh with him, and he's smiling away.
Yeah, Matt's done some route setting here, so we know him pretty well. And he's been to, I think he didn't come last year, but he's been most years for the Flash, and he's been a regular semi-finalist, if not finalist.
Yeah. Yes, he describes himself as a professional route setter and coach. And is a previous big Flash finalist, as you said.
Yeah.
He's one of the many athletes who've said one of the worst things about climbing is the loss of skin and waiting for it to grow back.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few people doing that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just want to say that this whole weekend we kind of open our centre up for free and we raise money for charity. It's a similar thing to what the Climber Works do, and this year we're raising money for Climbers Against Cancer, which is obviously well known globally now.
Yeah.
And also a local charity, Nelson's Journey, which supports young people who've experienced bereavement and loss. So these weekends are fantastic. We've got 3 aims with them. The first one being to make a difference in terms of money we raise for charity. The second one is to put on a show and inspire our local climbing community. And the third aim is to support UK competition climbing by putting on a World Cup format event. 2 days. It's a lot of work. It's not the cheapest thing to do, but it's very stressful. Yeah. But the grand final always makes it worthwhile. It's dark outside, the lights are on, there's chalk in the air, big crowd. And the feedback from the competitors is always fantastic.
It's an amazing atmosphere. And Mike, you can always say, to the day you die, that you put on the first ever climbing event on live terrestrial TV, and it is a sport that is on the up and up. We've got the Olympics next year in Tokyo, and it does need the climbing community to get behind the sport, and you've done your bit.
It's just obviously it's a bit of a surprise to get it on Free Sports, and that all came about relatively late, and it was really exciting. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh right, we've got to get this right. We've got to start at 6 o'clock. We can't have a 5-minute lag while we just sort something out. So it's been great. You guys have been great supporting us since day one with the online streams, and it really feels like it's kind of the end of one journey, but potentially the start of another one.
Well, I think we cover a lot with Free Sports, and Free Sports are always looking for new, innovative sports, and especially there's such a big following. And I've got to admit, my lad was on a climbing competition today. He loves climbing, and he hates every other sport, and he's watching this climbing event from home now.
Brilliant.
And enjoying it.
Fantastic.
And seeing how the top guys do it, and it is wonderful. And what an atmosphere. It's just sort of gone a little bit quiet here. These problems are difficult problems. There's no doubt about this. If you're into problems 3 and 4 on a 4-problem competition, these are going to be that are going to stand out the men from the boys.
Yeah, I mean, Bob commented, didn't he, that he thinks that this is the hardest female one, so they're obviously banking on this one and splitting them.
She's held it.
Yeah.
And then off.
And she's straight looking at her tips again.
Yeah. More split tips. The clock has gone. They are both off. So that will be the end. And yes, a big zero for both athletes there. This is proving a tough one. So now, here we go, because we have Max Milne, who's topped everything so far. He's only come off a wall once, as has Dave Barons. So this is going to be very interesting. And it's Tara Hayes, who's, well, it's fair to say she's had a nightmare. And I think it all started right at the very first problem. And she's almost, well, maybe she's given herself a good talking to there, because she has just made that look so easy. Look at this from Tara Hayes.
Yeah, she looks really strong in the semi-final. So hopefully she's just about to kick into gear on this one.
Wow, that's interesting, because she's come out a different person.
Yeah.
Whether she's given herself a good talking to in that isolation room, but she
Come on.
is holding these. Oh, right at the end, so close, but what an attempt.
Come on, Max.
On to Max Milne.
Yeah, so Max recently won the Titans event. And it's definitely a contender for the title this year. I think it might be between him and Dave.
It looks like him, and it could even go to countback as well, because they're absolutely tied here.
Yeah.
And Dave has the advantage, so if they are tied, Dave will win based on his semi-final performance.
Yeah, we're short of a couple of competitors this year. We're going to miss, well, we are missing Nathan Phillips and Matt Cousins. Nathan's away on a beach somewhere with Billy Vidal, I think. And yeah, Matt Cousins is just recovering from injury, so hopefully they're going to be back for next year. I think that might be a bit of blood on the wall there. Yeah. I think that's from the semi-final.
Well, this is the area that caught Alex Waterhouse out. He got here, and then his right foot gave way at this moment.
Oh. So these volumes are actually going to make that slab slightly, well, I won't say nicer, but they're going to add a more positive angle to that slab. But obviously he's got to get his feet onto them, and his left foot there is not on it's on an edge. I'm not sure if you can really see it on TV, but it's on like the apex of a volume.
Well, he's desperately wanted to. He's not going to try it from there, surely. No way.
Not.
He's not Superman. Come on.
Come on.
You need to get on top of there.
Oh,
You've got to. Oh, he's done it. Now he can jump. Oh! No! Oh, my goodness. Oh, that was a moment. What an incredible climb from Max Milne. Oh.
It's interesting how he done that there. Just smeared on the wall. That just gave him that extra bit of height to get his foot onto that volume, and then maybe he rushed it. Maybe he just rushed going for that top hold.
Yeah. Well, Tara Hayes has gone. She's, I think she's having issues with her hands. The old split ends. She's going to certainly maybe not climb for at least a week after this. And here comes Max Milne. So Dave Barron's in the semi-finals, topped 4. In fact, he never came off a wall. It was 4 tops, 4 zones in 4 attempts. With Max, he actually came off twice, so he took 6 attempts.
Oh, brilliant. Well done, Max. Come on. So he's made really quick work of that lower
he knows it,
sequence.
Yeah.
It's all now here. Is he going to try the same thing again?
Oh, here we go.
Slower. Here he goes.
Oh, yes! The first top of M3 for Max Milne. 2 attempts. Incredible.
So
what a moment.
The question is that the block that's going to split them? So Dave's now going to come out.
Yeah. And Dave will know, the thing is, well, you know this, you know what I'm going to say. Dave Barons will know that he's just topped that.
Yeah.
So he knows that he has to top this to stay in contention. Because he saw that Tara came past earlier, she went in.
Yeah.
There was only one man out there when the big cheer went up. So Dave Barron, and of course these athletes are listening for the cheer, so Dave Barron knows nobody else has topped this. It's down to him to do it, and this could be title on the line here.
But he also knows that he's dropped it. So the pressure is on.
Pressure is on. Hannah Slaney, we've got to just take a second, because this lady is just, well, she's different gravy at the moment. The way she topped the last one was was ridiculous. She went into an area she didn't like and just decided to change her mind midway. This is not easy at all. She's in an awkward position here. Meanwhile, Dave Barron's, this is one of the awkward little skips across for him.
This is, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not climbing at this level, so me saying this is not easy seems a bit stupid, really. But yeah, well, there you go. Proof of the pudding. Yeah.
So now, if Barron's comes off once more, that will
Come
put
on,
Max
Hannah.
Milne at the top. And meanwhile, Hannah. Oh,
She's
that's
nearly there.
ridiculous
Oh.
strength.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
Hannah
there.
Slaney,
Fantastic.
take a bow. She's just flashed a problem that no other female competitor has managed. And I think that's already guaranteed that she's going to take the gold medal. Meanwhile, men's gold medal is on the line. Dave Barron's has to do it with this attempt, or he will drop from first to second on attempts. Great camera work here. He's got this little skip across, he's done it.
Come on, Dave.
The crowd are getting big. I think the MC's trying to whip the crowd up as well.
Yeah, Dave's a big favourite here. He's done some route setting here, and he's 1-2. It's normally it's him, Matt, and Nathan that are battling it out, but this year he's got another young gun on his tail.
Oh, he looks to have got this. He's got the foot.
It's a shame we didn't see a bit more of that camera angle there to see how bad that foot actually is.
Yeah. So Dave Barron's, 2 attempts. He walks away. We may have our gold medalist. What a brilliant competition. That's problem 3 over and done with. We're going to take a break. We'll be back for problem 4 shortly. Welcome back to the Highball Climbing Centre. This is an absolutely cracking evening of entertainment. Here is the men's scores as it stands, and one thing I missed, which was all important, Dave Barons took 2 attempts to get his zone, which means that he already has dropped down to second place. So you can see that 3-5 in yellow underneath the zone column. Well, that means it took him an extra attempt to get that zone on that last problem, and that's dropped him down into silver medal position. There you see the rest. It's looking tight between Alex and Matt for 3rd and 4th place, with Ty still got a chance. All to play for on the men's side of things. Let's have a look at the women's. And this is how the women's standing out. Hannah Slaney has already won. She will take the gold medal here, there's no doubt. But there's a real battle on for the silver and bronze, with Eugenie Lee, Frances Bensley and Tara Hayes probably not going to trouble. It's really down to 2nd and 3rd, but you never know. If Eugenie and Frances don't top in 4, then there's every chance that some of the others further down will top on 4 themselves. Okay, I'm very pleased to say Elliot Shearer has joined me back, fresh from problem 1. It seemed like an age ago, but
yeah, it's
Elliot,
been pretty exciting, hasn't it, so far?
have you been enjoying yourself?
Yeah, the atmosphere down there is pretty incredible at the minute. It's super tense for 1st and 2nd in men's. It's always good when it comes down to the final block.
Yeah. Well, here we go for the last time tonight. It's Ty Tewkesbury, currently in 5th place. He got problem 1, but that was the only one he's got so far today. And on the right-hand side, Sophie Redding, who's 17 from Milton Keynes. She climbs at the Big Rock Climbing Centre. Climbing centres popping up all over the place. My son loves climbing, so I see a lot of them myself these days, and it's amazing how many of them around the country there are.
Glad they're opening up, then they buy lots of Excellent holds.
Yeah.
This female 4, though, is pretty tricky. A lot of tweaking went into this one, trying to get it right. The finish hold changed a few times, the start holds have changed a few times to get settled on this one, and it's a pretty impressive block. I think it was one of Rob Napier's themselves.
I think I've been looking in front of me, and the route setter's looking quite happy the way things have turned out.
Yeah, they are.
And Sophie, meanwhile, well, let's just have a listen to what Rob Napier had to say about problem 4 for the female and male problems. I'm here with Rob Napier, who's one of the route setters here, and female 4, this is the big finale. What have you got in store for them?
Well, it's a physical problem again, but also requiring a bit of hip flexibility at the start, which we're hoping the girls won't have a problem with. We've tweaked the start a little bit on this to kind of give them a bit of an easier ride at the end, and moved a bit of the finish around, but hopefully they won't have too many problems and we'll see some tops. It's kind of a physical compression style problem.
I think you've tied them all out earlier on with F2 as well, so it's a slightly easier one. Thank you, Rob. So, Rob, tell us all about M4 and what sort of monstrosity have you got going on here? Sort of overlapping blocks, volumes. Tell us.
So, kind of a physical boulder again, and a bit power endurance, a longer boulder, but also there's a few tricks in the way you use your feet, your heels, your toes, to try and use those slopey volumes. There's a bit of compression involved. We're kind of thinking that they're not going to have too much of a problem with this. But we'll see. We never know. It depends how they get out at the start. If they get out at the start quickly, then hopefully they'll finish quite easily.
Okay, so that's really interesting to see what Rob had to say.
Ty getting the old sneaky toe hook in there. Looking good through this section onto the old barrel volume.
Less than a minute to go. I think it's fair to, these are athletes who have managed to get in 6th place this is a tough set of problems that have been set for them, and you can see there's a fair few red X's along the bottom there.
Yeah,
it's been a tough evening.
These
for them,
guys are going to be they're going to be shattered. Like finals is generally like a little bit easier than semis, but not completely. But yeah, these guys have done a superb effort to have done all the qualifiers yesterday, and all the semis this morning. Like it's been tough for them.
It certainly has. Well, the time is running out, so this will be their final attempt. Well, one thing that wall on the female 4 problem really does come back on itself quite harsh. That's a horrible angle. Yeah. And as you see, she just drops straight down, and that will be the end.
That's it for them. They'll be pleased with that effort that they've put in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the next 2 coming out, it's Jake Collins and Francis Bensley, who Francis is in 2nd place in the competition going into this final round. She must be aware that she's got a decent chance of the medals. I think everybody's realising that Hannah is absolutely ripping it all up.
Yeah, Hannah's looking fairly cruisy on all the problems so far, and it's pretty good to see Francis. She climbs like incredibly well outdoors as well, so it's been good to see her like put it into effort on these competition blocks as well, because they're totally different from outside.
And Francis she's been very close on the ones that she hasn't done, it's fair to say. And Rob did say that this is possibly the female 3 was definitely the hardest. This one is a little bit easier. And
yeah.
Bensley.
Then we're going to see a top here.
Yeah, she's already got the zone.
Whoa,
oh, what a hold from Bensley.
There we go.
Oh, what a way to finish her competition here. Big round of applause for Francis Bensley, who's sealed that silver medal spot. She will finish in 2nd place.
Jake's still got a bit more time there for him.
Yes, Jake Collins. Professional lifeguard who likes rugby. I remember we said that together on the first problem, didn't we?
Yeah, we did actually, yeah. Yeah, this start section is going to be pretty tricky for him, because big guy in a small space, it's never fun when it's like that.
No.
Long limbs it's going to be hard to get that toe hook in.
He's managed it there. Certainly, Rob did say in his interview that he felt that this one may be topped by most of the finalists, but it offers a few more difficulties, and there you see that.
I think it is, as Rob said in the interview, it's down to like the toe hooks, the heel hooks. Like it's going to be really, really finicky with the feet.
Yeah.
There he is, just crawling along in front.
Well, Jake is just taking his time there. That was one of our route setters there, trying to duck out the way. They try and keep it as clean as possible there, but I think it's fair to say the amount of work that the route setters do for these sort of events, they're allowed a front row seat, aren't they, really?
I think so, yeah. They were up pretty early this morning, tweaking semis.
Yeah.
And then finals they actually set. They're stuck with what they set originally, which they've been back at like Wednesday, Thursday this week, so they've been doing quite a few days setting. They're all tired, and they're just pretty happy for their blocks to be shown and climbed really well.
Well, there's standing room only. That's about, I'm looking at 7 people deep on the mats behind us. They almost need a second tier of seating here.
Brings in a big crowd to this in Norwich. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Well, climbing is one of those that I've seen climbing all around the world with thousands of people
Oh,
And the clock has just gone as he comes off, so that will be Jake's final climb here. And he goes off with his
good effort from Jake there.
head wide, head held high. So now, Catherine McDougall, Alex Waterhouse, we're halfway through.
Might see a top from here from Catherine. She's a pretty technically strong climber. As long as she can reach the moves, she'll probably be all right on this.
Yeah, just one zone so far from Catherine. She's currently in well, 5th or 6th place. I think some of the results have slightly changed since we last looked at them.
Yeah.
She was 6th on our list earlier, but she's doing well here.
Good progress.
And well, there's every chance that she could nick 3rd place here. If she can flash this, she could move straight from 6th to 3rd.
Whoa,
Oh,
she is
what a
really
hold.
boning down on that right hand.
Oh,
There we go.
incredible!
Is that a flash from Catherine? That was a flash, wasn't it?
That was a flash from Catherine
There we
McDougall.
go.
And well,
She'll be
that,
psyched with that.
what a way to finish her tournament here. That was superb. And
That
well, I
was good.
think that has put her into 3rd place. Well, I'll have to double check that. But I'm just looking. She now is in 3rd place. So that's going to say to Eugenie Lee that she has to do something here. Eugenie Lee has dropped from 3rd to 4th.
Ooh.
So Alex Waterhouse, we saw him on the last one, having a little bit of fun. He's in 5th place. If he tops here, he could sneak into 3rd with Matt Varela Christie yet to come. So something worth topping for here.
Yeah. We'll see some strong moves from Alex. He's a pretty stacked guy.
Yeah, he's got a strong physique for sure. Yeah, strong shoulders. He's having a little bit of a rest here. You know, it's a long day. These guys have been qualifying yesterday was long, semi-finals was tough, and here he is on the end of 4 really tough final problems.
Yeah.
This is it now. Leave it all out on the wall.
It's a really powerful start, especially with Alex not using, as we've seen from the past few competitors, they've been getting the toe hooks in, whereas Alex has just really not used that at all.
Yeah. Nicely done. Oh, that's beautifully done from Alex.
Getting the height on the barrel though.
This is where the strength's got to tell. He's got a little hold. Can he do it?
Can't really see it, but there is a crimp that is really cranking down on.
And he's not. Yes, there is. Yes. Well hidden away.
There we go.
Beautiful, Alex.
We're going to get a top.
He's gone for the beach, and he makes it.
There we go. Pretty happy with that.
Alex Waterhouse is pumped. Well, now we go to the athletes who've just been displaced from 3rd position. Both Matt Varela Christie and Eugenie Lee, excuse me, were both in 3rd and now both in 4th, and they have to do something here.
They're going to come out
back on the
fighting.
podium. Yeah,
It's going to be good. Be interesting to see the method Matt goes for. Is he going to get the toe hooks on the start, or is he going to go for the press method that Alex used?
I don't know. You could hear that clearly at home, but there was a massive cheer in here. What an atmosphere tonight. Eugenie Lee is off to the races already. She's on this little climb now. It's a hard reach at the top. That's a
Getting a bit interesting now.
oh, she's not
There we
hanging out.
go.
Oh, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It was pretty effortless there from Eugenie.
Eugenie, well, the question was asked, and she certainly answered it there, didn't she?
That was pretty impressive. Totally smashed that.
She probably knew that she'd have to do something there, and you don't get much better than just flashing that problem, which
Good effort for a last climb of the day.
absolutely gives her 3rd place. fact, it might even take her into second place, depending on what Frances Bensley, who's already gone, of course. So I think she may, because that was a flash, she may have gone into second place there. Still 2 minutes to go here.
Bit of time left for Matt to figure out what he's going to go for. He got pretty close on that, actually.
Yeah. So Matt currently in 4th place. If he tops, he'll get 3rd. If he doesn't, well, he's staying 4th.
It's quite a bit of pressure for him, like psychologically.
He is taking his time. I think he's decided, you know, these holds are energy sappers, aren't they? And I think he's decided that he's probably got one more attempt under his belt. He's going now. Maybe if he comes off early, he'll have one more go.
Yeah, he's timed it pretty well in that he's given himself enough time to give it a try now, but then if he does come off with the 4+, he could probably jump back on.
Yeah. Oh, and he's off early. He never got a hold of that little hidden grip.
Yeah, it's pretty tucked away right at the back of that barrel volume.
Yeah. It's a ninja one, isn't it? I think it was Matt, actually. I need to double check, but I think it was one of these athletes who've been in the Ninja Warrior for the last 2 years.
I think that was Matt, yeah.
I think it is Matt, yeah. So Ninja, quite appropriate. And he finished in 3rd place in 2018. And I don't have any details of 2019, but here we go. Looking at the clock, 45 seconds to go.
Probably just timing himself just in case there's another little slip there, but again, not using the toe hook method.
Yeah.
Probably one last attempt there.
Oh, he's very frustrated with himself there. That's one massive choke bag, I've got to say.
Yeah, pretty big brush as well there.
So here we go. Final attempt.
Last attempt, come on.
16 seconds on the clock. And now, well, nothing. There's that little hold on there. Now he's got it. Oh, he hasn't. And the time, he's not going to make it. Time is up. And we do have a change on the podium. It looks like Matt Barilla Christie will not make the podium. And at the last second, he will pull out. What a great crowd here. Look at that shot.
Really getting into it, the crowd there. Like you say, there's quite a few people here, all getting behind the athletes. It's really good to see. This is where the real battle's at between Max and Dave.
This is
will
it.
Be interesting.
Max Milne, if Max flashes, he wins. He's in the leader position due to Dave Barron's having taken 2 attempts at a zone. This is how the zone can be important. 1 attempt at the zone is the difference between Max and Dave Barron's, who's to come next. Meanwhile, Tyler Hayes, who's had not such a great day out there. She nearly took the last one. She will take this one.
Good flash from Tara, making those tiny little footholds. They're really small, and she was just cranking on them like they were huge footholds. That was good.
Yeah,
she's going as well. That's going to be pretty exciting.
She's not going to be a happy bunny in the car on the way home, you can see that, but she finishes on a high. And now Max Milne, this is crucial. A flash.
He's really got some incredible strength behind him. I think we might be seeing a flash here.
Oh. Well, here we go. He's looking up at the top. Here's the move. Max Milne has done it.
Like it was nothing.
And I wonder if he knows. I wonder if he knows that has sealed. He has a little applause with the audience.
Made his journey from Scotland worth it.
Not only Scotland, Aberdeen.
That's pretty far.
That's Scotland and another bit on top. I work on some of the pool productions we do on Free Sports, and we have a a shootout in Aberdeen just after Christmas. It's a nice little 7-hour drive from Birmingham.
Casual, easy.
Yeah. Mind you, everything's a long way from Norwich, isn't it? Aberdeen to Norwich, oh my goodness, that's got to be a flight. So here we go, final. Dave Barron's, who looks like he's going to have to settle for second place here. And Hannah Slaney, doesn't matter what she does, she won this half an hour ago.
Yeah, she can chill on this one.
Yeah. This girl, as I said earlier, is different gravy altogether. She's got more in her kit bag. You don't feel as if she's actually ever stepped out of first gear in this as well.
She's really looking like she's cruising up all the boulders. Like she's not really having to crank, no power there. Dave's just fallen off there.
And there we go.
Nice top from Hannah.
Hannah Slaney,
Easy.
the champion here in the women's competition. Class act from start to end.
Like I say, really didn't look like she was trying on any of those.
Well, this is why she was the world junior champion. I tell you what, I covered international climbing for 5-6 years. I think that girl's going to be up there dominating, and Miss Coxley might just have somebody to look behind. Yeah. Another Brit. Wouldn't that be amazing? Bouldering, traditionally the competition of the Austrian climbers and the French climbers, and suddenly the Brits are coming. The female Brits are really stepping up.
Slowly but surely we're getting there.
Yeah, Shauna is incredible talent, of course, and has proven it time and time again. So Dave Barron's with the last climb here.
Again, going for a bit of a heel toe cam there rather than just a toe hook. Finds a little hidden crimp. Goes for a heinous swap of that. God.
Well, Dave Barron's, he's been around the block a few times, but he's still shot. Oh, the left foot just went up.
Just popped off there.
Oh, and it's done it again. That's left. It's hurt him as well.
Yeah, something's going on with that left calf, or
yeah. Well, here we go, Dave. Come on, give us a grandstand finish.
Just nursing that fingertip as well. That's going to be pretty sore after all these climbs.
Dave was on the he's cleaning it himself. He knows what he wants to do. Man was on the podium at world level back in 2009 when Hannah Story was only 10 years old. Some of the junior kids I was watching it. Like, this is the lovely thing about climbing. It's such a family sport, and I was watching quite a few of the kids earlier. They're having a great time here. It's such a wonderful sport to be involved with, and all age groups.
Yeah, you look back at the scores of semi-finals, and there were juniors and fully up to seniors. It was really good, and I think most people got a top, if not a zone, which was always good to see.
Yeah,
they go home happy. Come on, Dave, this time. Decides to go again for the heinous swap. Going to see a top this time. Hopefully that left foot sticks on. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
top for Dave. He'll be pleased to finish on the top.
Dave Barron's finishes the night off in style. There's little kids jumping up and down in the aisles here. It's all gone mad. But Dave Barron's, a big handshake with Max, who stayed to watch him complete. Well, what a great evening we've had.
What a final. Absolutely incredible. And the setters got it bang on. And yeah, team at Highball couldn't have put on a better show.
It's been absolutely wonderful. Well, we're gonna take a quick break here as we get ready for the podiums. We'll be back for the presentations. Welcome back to Norwich, to Highball Climbing Centre. What an absolutely wonderful 2 hours of top national climbing we've had here on Free Sports. And we can have a look at the results for the men's competition. This is how it finished. Max Milne won with 4 tops, 4 zones, or bonuses if you want to talk about in old money. But the all-important thing was how many attempts. And, well, Max took 6 attempts at the tops, whereas with Dave it was 8 attempts. That was the major difference at the end of the day, with Matt Varela Christie getting into 3rd place with his 2 tops. You can see he topped problem number 1 and 4. Alex Waterhouse with tops at 2 and 4, and Ty Tewksbury, who topped number 1, had a real tough time of it on the rest, but really gave a good showing, as did Jake Collins. A really high level of competition here. But those two, Milne and Barons, yet again had a real battle right at the top, and hardly anything at all between them. As for the women's competition, this is how it finished, with the world junior champion Hannah Slaney. She flashed 04. There you go. Does it get much better than that, does it? 4 out of 4 in terms of the tops and the bonuses, or the zones, with Frances Bensley getting 2nd place. Quite, in fact, interesting to see flashes all the way there for all the players except for Sophie, who I don't know why her results not showing yet from the results system, but she didn't make the final problem. But all the others flashed their problems, and really good climbing all the way through. What a great evening we've had here. And Max Milne, who's got a little way to go, you could say, back to Aberdeen. He's definitely staying over here. We're just I think there's usually a little delay on these sort of things, as I think there's appeals allowed, and athletes can query a score. They have to double check what the scores are, so they get a little bit of time there, but usually that's fairly quickly done. And we're just getting ready for there's been lots of kids climbing here today. It's been a great joy actually seeing lots of the kids all climbing. There's bouldering all around us here, lots of different levels, and it's been absolutely wonderful to see. Well, I believe one of our climbers has gone missing, so maybe they needed a toilet stop or something like that. We're just waiting for these presentations to go. If there's plenty of sport on Free Sports, of course, to come up, and well, tomorrow night, live sport from Doncaster with the IPA Pool Premier League entering its final week of action before they split and go to the next level with the top 6 players. I think our MC is about to start, so I'll have a little listen.
Just missing Dave and Matt and Ty. Oh, here they come. Gentlemen, the place on the podiums. You are first, sir. Cool, nicely done. Thank you.
So there's our podium in the men's competition. Matt Vivila Christie in third place, Dave Barron's in second, and it's Max Milne from Aberdeen, the British champion, adds the Flash Climbing Championship to his honours. So now for the female ladies competition, and it's going to be 19-year-old Hannah Story from Bristol, now living in Manchester. Well, here comes Hannah and the rest. Oh, the crowd here absolutely loving it. They're all on their feet. It's a standing ovation for what's been a cracking competition. Hannah Slaney was top of the lot here tonight. Wow, what a great evening we've had. Many thanks to all our co-commentators, Mike Surtees, Elliot Shield, Johnny, all coming in. Johnny, I'm sorry, I forgot your surname again. Terrible with names. But Johnny was wonderful, as were all the others. It's been great to have everybody on board. We've just had an absolute festival of climbing here at the Big Flash Climbing Festival. And, well, we're going to head into the night now. And as I said earlier, if you like your pool, tomorrow night on Free Sports, there's live pool from the IPA Premier League as well. You might hear a familiar voice on that one. My name's Adrian Battersby. Thank you very much for watching us here this evening. It's great to bring UK climbing at its best onto the screens here at Free Sports. We'll see you again, no doubt. Goodbye for now.
So there we are, the Flash Championship senior teams. Next up is going to be the Highball Heroes. So these are the highest finishing senior male and female. So these are the 3 male Highball heroes. So these are the Highball locals who got the furthest in the competition. In 3rd place, Matt Ireland. Are you here, Matt? He's at home? Are you watching? Is he on? 2nd place, Johnny Golder. He's here. And in 1st place, Aaron Tucker. Ladies and gents, the male Highball heroes. So just waiting for females. Well, female results. While I just wait for these prizes, thank you all ever so much for coming and hanging around. We'll do the female Highball heroes, then we'll draw the raffle. Who's got a ticket? Who hasn't got a ticket? Who wants a ticket? There's a few people. Anybody got the pocket? Ooh. So let's thank a few people all around. So first of all, let's thank all the volunteer judges and brushers. Thank you very much. Give them a round of applause. And I'd also like to thank the room setters for doing a fantastic job. Round of applause for those. From Napier, Longy, Jamie Cassidy, Jan Chanu, and the ever not present, Jason Nichols. Yeah, setting the big clash is a big challenge because it's a 2-day competition and the room setters have got to try and split the projections early on as they can. We have a lot of you that enter and when we get into the semis, you've got different sciences all over the place and you've got to try and split them somehow as well as give them something that they can do. They've done a great job this year. So now, female heroes, 3rd place, Katie Fisher. Is Katie here? In 2nd place is Jude. No, hang on, don't worry around. Sorry, Judith Hart in 3rd place, Katie in 2nd place, and Lily Bird in 1st place. Hand right there. Hello. Well, sorry. Cool. Well done. Female Highball heroes. Anybody want a raffle ticket? Put your hand up. There's a man there. Okay, so yeah, just once again, we raised some money for volunteers to cancer and health and journey. Last year we raised £5,000. Hopefully we can smash that this year. Our primary sponsors are XCOM, Zanaya, Beat Aesthetic, with Nomad Volumes and Enigma Climate Products, claiming a lot of skin. Friction Labs, Climb Skin. Is anybody with bad tips? 20% of Climb Skin before you leave. Field soon. Town and Country and Sports Club Insurance and Highball. I think the climbing directory and DPD for paying for the barbecue for the charity barbecue. Thank you all very much. Round of applause for all of those. Also want to thank Dandy's Printing and Paul for doing our t-shirts. Premier Print for doing a lot of the banners. Chris Ridley Photo, down over there. I'm going to thank Steve Amy's Electrical for doing a lot of our wiring at the last minute. And just waiting for the raffle. have a list of the prizes that we've just gone through? Yeah, bring it back. Is this the first prize? Yeah. It's not just a bag, it's a bag full of things and things. So we're sorry for the tickets to come up. Third place raffle, 3 months free climbing at Highball, a pair of Finalist shoes, organic messenger satchel, friction lab t-shirt, short boot bananas, 5 sleep accessories, and some other little goodies. Second place, 6 months free climbing at Highball. Finalist shoes, organic backpack, friction lab t-shirt, short boot bananas, boot brushes, 5 sleep accessories, and some other little goodies. And the big one worth over £1,000, 12 months free climbing at Highball. The trolley is a session folding pad, any pair of Finalist shoes. Slagboard, your Woodstock brush, Seaty Summit duffel bag, friction lab t-shirt, short, grab hat, boot bananas, Edelwood skipping rope, climbing accessories, and some other little goodies. Right, where are the tickets? Anybody got the tickets? Have you got your tickets? Right, now I need a bucket of tickets. Anybody seen a large ginger man? You're folding them. Have you all had a good time? Brilliant. Well, thankfully nothing broke, which was, it's not long before we can relax a little bit. The official after party is at the Plasterers Arms. So as soon as we packed up a little bit of this, we're heading down there for a pint for you. And then if you're not working in the morning, we'll be with the spoons having a breakfast. That's tradition now. And we also open as well, so we're going to have a bit of lie-in, have a breakfast, and then come and pack this up. All these coffins will be on the wall. And then Chief Route Setter Rodney, our team is coming back when? He doesn't know, but he is coming back soon, and he's going to be infilling all the pop-ups with some more finger-ripping problems. So we've well stocked up on tape and climb stick, so you're going to need it, okay? Are we ready? I know you're ready. I'm ready. How are we getting on, Richard? Nearly there. Anything else you want to know? Any questions? Can I have a volunteer to pick the first ticket? Toby? So are we going to do the winner first, or are we going to do third place first? Okay, let's have a cheer for third place. And let's have a cheer for first place. Right, okay, so the third place winner is, number 30, 536. Volunteer for the second ticket. Oh no! 536. Okay, right, colours. Okay, so that was 1536. White again. 9, 2, 1. White. 9, 2, 1. Is that yours? Have you got white 9, 2, 1? Here we go, come on down. What's that? go on. It's a bit depressing, really, isn't it? Okay, it's another white ticket. 3, 6. That's it. 3, 6. 36. 3, 6, 36. Is there a yes? Is there a winner? Do we not have a winner? 36. Right, okay. I'm going to have a winner. I want a different colour. 2, 0.